From inside historic Doyle Field in Leominster, we say a very good Saturday morning to one and all as we welcome you to the spring season on Rivalry Family Media. Alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for Rivalry Family Media, and happy to have you along with us on this Saturday morning. Hope springs eternal, as they say. And today we spring the spring season open here on RFM with a triple header of action, beginning with girls lacrosse here as Littleton travels to historic Doyle Field to take on Leominster High School's Blue Devils. Coming up shortly thereafter, about middle of the day, 2:45, the slated start time. Boys lacrosse will play Littleton. It'll be Leominster and Littleton at 2:45. Separate stream right here on Facebook.com/Media Rivalry. And then coming up on the other side of that, later on this evening, scheduled for a 6:30 first pitch on the upper field here at Doyle Field. It's baseball action here on Rivalry Family Media as we get ready for the open of the baseball season here at home, as Leominster will play Neshoba. Spring triple header here. It's Littleton and Leominster to open the triple header action here at Doyle Field. Girls lacrosse to kick off our day today. Welcome in Bill Thomas. Billy, here we go. We've been off for a couple of weeks since football and volleyball ended their fall two-wedge season, but here we go, as I said right off the top. They say hope springs eternal, and hope springs eternal for these two schools. Littleton's coming off of a 13-12 overtime win versus Neshoba the other day on the opening day of the season at home. Leominster, on the flip side of that, on the road at Neshoba, a 15-14 loss in overtime. But these two schools, a lot of offense in this game, end-to-end action. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun.
I think it will be a lot of fun. It's a great way to kick off our spring season here. Like you said, we've been off a couple of weeks, time to recharge, but talk about jumping in the deep end of the pool with 3 games today, but I'm looking forward to it. I think we got a great matchup here of the girls' varsities to start off the day, and I'm really looking forward to it. Like you say, scoring doesn't seem to be a problem. Defense is a little questionable. We'll have to see if a goalie steps up and how this game plays out today.
And if you hearken back to the first of the fall seasons, if you remember back to that September-October time frame when we were here doing field hockey and soccer here at historic Doyle Field, there were some rules modifications that occurred. And, of course, those rules modifications we'll get to in a moment as you see Eliza Howlett getting acknowledged by the Leominster Blue Devil Football Club and the Leominster Blue Devil Athletic Club with the Leominster High School Athletic Scholarship. 2 of those will be awarded today. Eliza Howlett gets it for the girls' athletic side of things. On the baseball side of things later on today, we will see a presentation to the male winner of the 2021 Leominster High School Athletic Club Scholarship. So that's coming up later today as well. So we'll get back to that in a moment. Let's talk about some rules modifications. 12 and a half minutes. That's the deal. 12 and a half minutes per quarter. Teams will not have draw control. Of course, that is one of the distinctive differences in the men's and women's game as far as lacrosse goes. Usually in women's lacrosse, it's draw control. 2 players take the position at the midfield circle. They position the ball between the backs of the 2 sticks, the official signal, and they actually flip their sticks up in the air. The ball goes up almost like a jump ball in basketball, and they chase it down. Remember all that? That's the great, one of the very exciting parts of women's lacrosse. Delete it all because it's been COVID modified. You won't see that until the 2022 action here on RFM. So draw control will be done much the way we saw during the basketball season. It was done off of a coin toss, Bill Thomas. Possession on the coin toss was ultimately won by Littleton, and they elected end of the field. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, they gave up the possession now. You know, it's going to be back and forth possession like you see in basketball. Whenever there's a double foul, there can be a double foul. It's simultaneous foul on each end, but they're not going to have that control situation where they'll have the face-off type situation. So I think that it's going to add a little extra dimension to the game. But Littleton did win the coin toss. They've chosen to defend the goal to our left because they want to shoot in front of their own bench, and their bench is positioned to our left. Great strategy, I think, to encourage the team, encourage the offense. So Leominster will be defending the goal to our right, and they will have the first change of possession when the possession now comes into play.
And, of course, in Leominster, lacrosse is still relatively a new sport. It's probably wrapping up about its first decade here at Leominster High School, but still I think it might be the best-kept spring secret that Leominster High School has available. Same, of course, with some of the other schools here in central Massachusetts, but it is a growing sport nationally, fastest growing youth sport in the country, you're going to see today for both boys and girls, and you'll see why. There's end-to-end action, it's high scoring, and it's fast-paced. Those are all the things you can expect to see in a lacrosse action today. Now, the boys and girls game are vastly different from one another, and you're going to see that comparably if you were to try to, explain the difference to somebody seeing the game for the first time. Women's lacrosse, girls lacrosse, much more a cross between field hockey and soccer. It's more of a half-field game. There's definitely a working of the balls with set pieces or set plays to open up the opportunity to score. Meanwhile, the boys' game we'll see in a couple of hours a little bit different, much more like soccer meets hockey, which brings about an entirely different piece. There's a physicality to it. There's a lot of stick action that you're going to see, and you'll see it on the girls' end as well. But again, two vastly different games, and it starts with the sticks. The girls' stick is a little bit flatter. It doesn't have a pocket, but it does have a curved end. Meanwhile, the boys' game got a deeper pocket, and the cross, or the stick, has more of a rounded end, less of a curve on the end of the two sticks. So that's a couple of the differences you will see, as well as you see both teams being introduced by public address announcer Dick Tucker here at historic Doyle Field. Getting both teams out there on the field. We'll stand by for the national anthem, and we'll welcome in the third member of our broadcast team. It's Rivalry Family Media on a Saturday morning, opening day of the spring season here at Doyle Field. Triple header action. It starts with Littleton and Leominster girls coming up after this national anthem. And with that, we're ready for action here at historic Doyle Field. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas, and we welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, Kate Robbins. Kate, we've been talking about it here as you've been down on the field getting pronunciations and getting some information from the two teams. Of course, very different sport, fast-growing sport for both boys and girls, we were saying as we went into the anthem. But what we really are here seeing today is the spring season, a return to a little more normal for these athletes we'll see compete today. And Leominster High School baseball coach Rich Barnaby pointed this out. 700 days since the last time these sports were contested here on home field.
It's a whole heck of a lot of time in between contests, and one of the things that is nice to see, participation numbers here for both Littleton and Leominster look like they are quite healthy. I know that across the state, participation numbers are down about 30% because of COVID, and some of the programs have been hit harder than others, and we know that for a fact here in Leominster, the boys volleyball program being hit hard by those participation numbers. They had been playoff contenders for several years, and so nice to see a whole heck of a lot of jerseys out there for both the varsity and the JV squads. Something else that's a little bit different that you don't normally see in bat ball sports like softball, baseball. Usually in softball, baseball, you've got varsity and JV going to opposite facilities. In lacrosse, the varsity and the JV tend to travel together in their contest. So you see a lot of people here. You see obviously the JV squads here to be able to watch things as well. So it's nice to see the healthy participation, both coaching staffs from the JV and the varsity level in attendance for all the teams. And I think we're going to be ready to go here.
So much for there not being a draw control. Two teams.
This is the only time they use the draw control, I think, in the
Is
entire
right off
game.
the initial start, Bill
face-off.
Thomas.
Yep.
There's the draw control, and away we go. And it is controlled by Leominster. On the bounce, it was Gabby Santucci, and Santucci will bring the approach to the net. Slashes down the fan arc and score!
That didn't take long.
Indeed, it did not. Immediately snaps that one by what appears to be Bill Thomas down the end. That's Kyra Mansu in net.
Number 22.
The junior gets the start for the Littleton Tigers today. And the first shot from Santucci, who took it straight down the middle of the field, goes top corner. And Leominster up 1-0.
Quickly off the face-off. Didn't take long for Leominster attacking and scoring that quick goal.
We got it
There
at
we go.
about
Control again. I guess it's on goals.
about 15 seconds, Bill Thomas.
Well,
We're
the
gonna leave it
rules
be.
are evolving.
Hey, I much prefer the draw control in this
I do
sense.
too.
And away it goes. Ball's up. And it will hop. Leominster wins the draw control again. And this is Kylie Cudahy. Cudahy getting pushed off the play as she'll start on the approach. Leominster going from right to left in the action here today. White tops, the white skirts, white footwear for most. Littleton wearing the navy blue tops with the yellow gold trim, numerals front and back. And Leominster will work the ball around the outside. And you see, working around the outer edge of that fan, Leominster setting up girls lacrosse. Of course, multiple lines out here on the field. Girls lacrosse lines are a maroon color. Probably a little difficult to see on your angle at home, but we'll work it as Leominster comes around X. Looking at the top of the fan, nobody there. And they'll continue to work the ball back and forth. This is Cudahy. Cudahy has the ball poked away, and it's taken away by the Tigers and Iverson. Check it, Crory. Crory finds a connection, moving down the field. This is Hunt. Hunt will go right back through the center circle, down the middle of the field. She will cradle her way to the far side of the fan, snaps it to the arc, finds a connection there with Hurley. Hurley gets a look at the net, decides to peel away, take it back to the top. And right now, Kate, we're seeing the first opportunity today with the Tigers on the offensive end.
Yeah, in the attack right now, being quite methodical, working their way around that fan, around that 15-yard line on the traditional football field. The cadence with the Tigers on the attack, things have slowed down. Very methodical with their approach here, but Leominster able to scoop things up there.
Yeah, Jordan tried a little head fake and lost the ball from her stick. And Leominster will pick it up in the defensive end, now look to make a connection. Santucci bounces off contact and flies down the left side of the field. Now up through the middle. Makes a connection with Cudahy, and Cudahy will slow down the action, which allows the defense to catch up, but along with her teammates. Here come Cudahy.
Bounced
Cudahy,
right
yeah.
off the bar.
Yeah, hits the crossbar, and it bounces long and in connection. Back down the field it goes. This is Crory. Crory for Jordan. Jordan to the arc, snap shot, there was a whistle, they wave the goal off.
Split second before that
Yes,
shot.
it did. And so it will be a direct free position for Hunt. Hunt stands at the top of the arc, she can shoot off the whistle. And the low sidewinder catches the corner of the netminder, and it's steered away. Katie, I see a 61 down there in goal for Leominster.
You want me to get on that?
I was going to say, we're going to need to find out what a 61 connects to, because nobody's wearing 61 on our roster. Thank you much. Kate will head down to the sideline, get us some information there, as Howlett makes the connection, trying to head out of Leominster's end of the field, going from right to left. Up through the middle of the field, it's O'Malley. O'Malley looks to center, ball was deflected, backed up there, and Leominster will have possession. Remember, closest to the ball when it goes out of play retains possession. And so they will blow the ball back into action, and away we go.
I just learned something new, Todd. That's a pretty odd way to
It's
decide who
unusual
gets it.
compared to other sports, no question about
learning
that.
on the fly here.
Around the top of the key we go. This is Howlett. Howlett will work its way around to Santucci. Santucci at the top of the fan will start on the attack. Throws the fake, goes left side, tries to cross it to the far corner. Out of play, it will roll, but it's backed up by Leominster, and they'll have the ball in the restart.
Just carry the ball in. No inbounds play either. I noticed there's strategically placed balls around the perimeter.
That's for the quick restarts, Bill Thomas. That's what keeps the ball moving in lacrosse. Cudahy from left post, rolls to the middle of the arc, now dances it back out long to the fan. And she'll dish the ball off for Amashinga. Now into the corner, find Jordan. And around the back at X, there's Santucci. Seems like she finds her way around the field. She finds Howlett. Howlett not able to move in on the attack. This is Pompey. Hands it off for Cudahy. Cudahy down to the arc, snaps a shot, finds the back of the net. Leominster up 2-0.
Cudahy 2 for 2.
Bill Thomas, Leominster has been unchallenged.
Relentless on offense. Littleton's had one offensive push, and Leominster's controlled the other 4+ minutes of the game so far.
Another opportunity for draw control here. Howlett will step in to take the draw control. She'll match up with Quarry. Official positions the ball. Whistle and procedure call against Littleton. They tried to pull it to their side. And so Leominster will get the draw control off the whistle. So Howlett with possession. She'll work her way down the field. Bumps, and they call a charge. Howlett lowers the boom. And so on the restart, here comes Littleton. Perhaps with an opportunity here to establish some offense. Snap it up the middle of the field. The bounce pass finds O'Brien. O'Brien straight to the arc. Rolls, and then a whistle. Penalty in the box, so it will create an opportunity for a free position here. Shea O'Brien, the sophomore on the attack. Top of the arc on the direct free. She is shooting on Molly Jordan, wearing 61, says Kate, and then she false starts. She flinched, crossed the arc, possession goes back, an unforced error there.
Looked like she was anticipating the whistle that never came.
And so here comes Leominster. Ball poked away loose, whistle. Infraction called against Littleton. Leominster ball. One of the other unique differences, Bill Thomas, between women's lacrosse and men's lacrosse is that the players, in a lot of ways, are almost treated like pieces, in the sense that on the restart, the official can figure out what the disadvantage was created by the foul or the infraction and actually move players around on the restart before they begin play. Down the field we go. Littleton, this is Corbett, and has to peel off. You heard Coach Mike Crory behind the action say, Kate, they didn't have the numbers.
That's exactly right. Because we have vast spaces here, we're able to hear Coach, and he's able to call off the attack, or at least pause it, so that the Littleton players are able to come and help, and again, setting up a play from outside that fan.
Crory started her attack and then rolled off. She'll now work her way behind the cage. Continues to cradle, flips up front,
Ooh,
touch pass, scores!
Wow.
That
Right
was
over the
Hunt
top.
with the finish. Oh my.
What a pretty play right there. Talk about patience. That was true patience right there.
Creativity was a must. Corey rolls to the back of the cage and then snaps it over the top for Hunt, who finishes on the touch pass. 5:35 to play here in quarter one. The Tigers are on the board. We're in a 2-1 match here in quarter number one.
18. Helping out the scorekeeper here.
Absolutely.
Got a lot going on in the
Mike
booth.
Griffin here. We're trying to keep everybody together here. It's a team effort.
Got to keep some stats.
That's how fast this action rolls. Ball is up, deflected on the draw control, and Leominster will win out. Santucci had to work for it, but she made her way to the outer circle. And now Santucci will take it down the right wing. Flips it to the top of the fan, finds Cudahy there, whistle off. Infraction called against Littleton. will create a free position opportunity for Leominster's Cudahy. Cudahy snaps the shot, looked low left and was wide of the net. And they say ultimately backed up by Littleton, who had the angle just barely. It was Emma Estep, the defender along the back line, was just close enough to win possession on the restart.
I think strategically positioned back there in case the net was missed. I think that's probably a set play.
Indeed. Down the field they come. This is Corbett. Corbett drops it off for Hunt. Hunt, the goal scorer from Quarry just moments ago, cutting the Leominster lead in half. O'Brien rolls one way, then rolls the other, goes to the back of the cage. Looking up front of Jordan, the ball bounced loose, and Jordan with the big cross scoops it up.
Same play right there, looking for a little over the top.
And you're absolutely right, Bill Thomas. Leominster's defenders are losing Hunt. As Hunt is dishing that ball behind the cage, she's getting a lot of separation from those defenders, and she's been lights out.
Sweet save along the sideline by Hurley, kept the play alive. Ball worked its way to the front of the cage. The shot from O'Brien missed everything. Backed up by Leominster on the restart.
A lot goes on behind the cage. It's one of the few sports where there's so much room behind the goal that you're not only protecting in front of the goalie, you got to work behind the goalie too.
And Bill Thomas, you make that point. And in the women's game, it's actually a little bit smaller because the field is actually a little bit longer. When we see the boys' action coming up here in our middle game of 3 today, they'll actually move those cages up, probably a handful of yards on the football measurement. You see the blue circles
At
located
15.
in front, right around that 15-yard line.
Oh, actually at the 10. Sorry, my bad.
Switch and sub on the fly. Players just head right on the action. They get into the area near their bench. They're able to move on. The infraction called against Leominster, and so it's Littleton ball on the restart. 3:18 to play here in the first quarter. 12.5-minute quarters here at historic Doyle Field in girls lacrosse action this morning. First of 3. Crory finds Hunt. Turnaround snapshot deflected away.
That's our third considerable save.
And working that tough angle, Kate, having to turn the cross over and defend 5-hole low.
See the goalie defending behind the goal right there to stop that over the top.
It worked so beautifully previously. You don't want to be beat by that or burned by that again.
And all you got to do is get that big stick up there and hopefully just create a little bit of interference.
Fill the passing lane.
Exactly. It's like playing basketball with your hands up.
Absolutely.
Littleton's coach calling out a play.
Here's Hunt. Hunt back for Crory. Clearly the 2 players to keep an eye on. Crory easy to spot. She's got that intense orange footwear. Personal favorite of mine.
I think we need a shot clock.
Bill Thomas.
The 4-corner stall.
Indeed, up the middle. Here comes Hunt. Knocked off the play by Santucci, but the foul called in the arc will create the free position.
Good foul right there, though. I think she was going to break in alone. Need a little shoulder there to slow her down.
Hunt goes top, goes center mass, and Jordan will snare it out of the air.
Nice job right there by the goalie.
Right now, Leominster's goalie keeping them in this is Molly Jordan, this senior in goal right now. She's doing a phenomenal job. Right now, Littleton seemingly been on the attack for the vast majority of the second part of this opening quarter.
Crory has to pull off the attack on the arc, and Kate, I will say, what's been causing Leominster's problems is the restart on the defensive end.
Yep.
They haven't been able to find a connection to clear their own end.
No, they haven't been able to clear, you're right. And one of the things with that 700 day off layoff, I think we're seeing some of the, just even passing fundamentals are what's lacking for both of these teams. But I've seen Leominster dropping more passes, and as you said, trying to get out of their defensive end and out to the wing so that they can change field position. Not been able to do it very often.
Final 70 seconds of this first quarter of action. Littleton just content with rolling around, trying to find an open opportunity as we go under a minute here in the first quarter.
Incredibly
trailing by 1.
Yeah, incredibly deliberate pace right now.
And that is one of the big distinct differences between the men's and women's game. In girls lacrosse, you're going to see a much more deliberate pace. They're going to wait and work the ball until they find an opportunity, as opposed to the men's game, you're going to see just brute force.
Nice defense there by Leominster to flush Hunt back out, to flush Crory back out beyond that fan. to really have to force Littleton to reset their attack.
Corey just looked at the clock, too. They're playing the last shot here, it looks like, or at least the last offensive
Down
possession.
to 21 seconds remaining in the quarter.
O'Brien snaps it around the back of the net. They look up front for a Hunt. They try that touch shot. It was broken up by the defense. Leominster trouble with clearing their own end again, but is scooped up on the roll by Cudahy. She picks up the ground ball, charging down the middle of the field. Final 5 seconds of the first quarter. Dishes it off, tried to find the connection. It is wide and backed up by Littleton, but that is the end of the first quarter of action here at historic Doyle Field. 2-1 our score. Leominster on top of Littleton here on Rivalry Family Media through one quarter. What action! End to end, everything we thought it would be, and then some in our first game of a triple header. And great to have you along with us. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us on this Saturday morning. And I got to tell you, Bill Thomas,
Pretty entertaining.
what do you think? Your first opportunity to see girls lacrosse up close and personal.
Pretty entertaining. I'm trying to tell you, it's a little tough watching the ball, even as a spectator, but I'm trying to follow along, enjoy the game. I'm enjoying it immensely, and my first exposure to lacrosse, and I'm glad that we're out covering this.
That's not true.
We did a men's game. We did a boys game. We didn't do a girls game back in 2019.
okay.
The season never developed for us.
Did we do
We did
one
boys.
We did one boys
Yeah,
game
it
and
was
a
spring of
softball game in
So
spring of
700
19.
days ago.
Yeah,
too.
700
it's like
days
the first
ago.
time all over again.
And then Todd.
Indeed
and
it
then,
is.
And then Todd ruined everything.
I was going to say, then I had to reschedule everything, and it was what it
Well,
was.
I mean, this is it's a great new exposure. I'm glad we're able to bring this to some fans that maybe not get exposed to lacrosse. Because once again, you hear about the glamour sports and some of this other stuff gets lost in the shuffle. I'm having a lot of fun here today, not only as a spectator, but being able to bring the game.
I love when Bill Thomas is the glamour sport.
Absolutely.
The glamour
Well,
sport.
and
But I mean,
but the
you
reality-
look at football and basketball,
Yes.
Yeah.
and baseball is what girls softball is getting a lot more publicity, but these fringe sports that get played in the middle of the day, there's a couple of parents here, but I think it's just great that we have an opportunity to enjoy.
We just got a comment on the Facebook stream by Bob Sabatelli. I know that it's not directed toward you because he would never give you a compliment. So Bob,
appreciate
on my behalf and Billy's behalf, we will thank you. We know that's not directed toward Todd.
We definitely appreciate that. Oh, now. We definitely do appreciate that. Indeed. Bill Thomas, I'll take your point, though, and I want to draw it out a little bit further because, we talked about right off the top. Lacrosse is and that wasn't hyperbolic, one of the most, action-packed sports. It is the fastest-growing youth sport in the country, and you can see why in the spring season when you're comparing this to a bat ball sport where you stand around a lot more, when you're trying to excite younger kids. There's a lot more action and a lot of them more opportunity to touch the ball and be engaged than you're going to see playing a bat ball sport.
And Bill Thomas, that's the thing. When you think about a bat ball sport, you generally have 9 or 10 people in a game that are able to participate. We have free substitutions.
Well, that's one thing I like about this.
These
Similar
student
to
athletes, they're on and
to the
off.
field hockey, you kind of get on, you get off, you play your role, and I think it's very entertaining. If any of our Facebook fans haven't seen a lacrosse game live, you're really missing out.
I couldn't have done it, though, the amount of running.
Well, that's it. You definitely got to be
It is
in
a
shape
cardio
for this
sport.
game.
I might have been
Yes.
thin in high school had I played
Best
this, though.
kept
My
secret in
word.
Leominster, no kidding. Lacrosse action. We're looking forward to bringing it to you throughout this spring 2021
Hello,
right here on
cardio.
RFM. And back to the center circle we go, and the draw control neutral at the moment and ultimately scooped up by Hunt for the Tigers. Second quarter of action underway. Tigers going left to right, trailing by 1.
Hunt is ubiquitous on this Littleton attack. She is everywhere. She and Crory really are, as you said, they are the point people here and running the point, essentially, for Littleton outside that fan.
Bouncing ball is knocked down. Corbett got it over to Crory, but Crory had to scoop it up and now takes it back and will slow things down.
And things come to a screeching
I was going to
halt.
say, this is one of those things, again, a distinctive difference.
Surprised that the girls don't come out and challenge the ball control person
Well,
a
they've
little bit
created
more.
that wall, Bill Thomas, within that outside fan, defending that arc. and they are just, they're like centuries at a post.
Indeed. And this sport, you will see, we equated it, in my years at Syracuse, we equated it to square dancing, because at times that's what it looks like. They run the play.
And
If the play
do-si-do.
doesn't work, they do-si-do it back to the top, and they'll run it again until they get the opportunity that they're looking for. And that's one of the things created by not having a shot clock and some real open opportunity to be able to just move the ball around, especially with many more players out on the field comparably to other sports where like field hockey had cut things down to 7-on-7 earlier this year. This is a full complement out on the field today.
Now, there's no restrictions on the number of offensive players that can run through the box, so to speak, in certain areas?
Correct. It's just the
can
restriction
flood
of who
the
can be
area?
on the attack. As you can see, some of the players hanging out toward the middle of the field, much like field hockey. Only so many players can move in on the attack or on the offensive side. Crury being poked off the play. Ball pops loose. Santucci swept it toward the end line. Tried to back it up, but they say ultimately position with the Tigers.
Good stick defense right there, though, breaking up that play. So there's no offside, there's no shot clock.
That is correct.
You got to be patient.
Very much so. This is a game of patience and opportunity.
I thought they said there was an offside. Meep.
Maybe. Haven't seen it.
Crury comes to Hunt.
Work in the middle.
Hunt working that arc, tries to throw it
Another
across the
save.
body, and yeah, Jordan scoops it up again.
She has been epic. Run with that ball, girl. Run
Well,
with
and the
it.
great part about being a goalie in this game, nobody can cross into your
That's
circle,
great.
which keeps, you are protected as long as you stay in that spot. You can
She-
come out, and then you become the same as any other player.
She's been stellar. Absolutely stellar.
Defensively, that one poked away in transition. Nice defensive work there by Carroll, trying to slow the Leominster attack down. But it finds Santucci, front of the cage, fakes one way, drops it the other, shoots and scores.
Nice breakaway right there with a great finish.
Juliana Pompey with the finish at the front of the cage.
All the work on that goal is done midfield, though. Good job there in that little scrum, about at the 40-yard line. Leominster came up with possession, drove it quickly downfield, like a fast break in basketball.
9:34 to play here in the second quarter, and Leominster advances their lead to 3-1.
So that goal was Pompey from Santucci?
Correct, so 21 from 12.
21 from 12. Nice job right there. Nice pass downfield.
And Santucci will head in for the draw control with Crury. The officials have to align the back of those two sticks. The players have got to keep them perfectly still. The ball gets positioned between the two.
He is not liking that position.
No, and he's got it because the whole idea is it's supposed to be
It's
neutral.
like two arm wrestlers that are trying
It's
to
exactly
gain
Bill Thomas is a perfect
positional
example,
advantage.
trying to get the
That's what
positional
it looks
advantage.
like. And he's like,
Absolutely a perfect
you're too high,
yes.
you're too low.
It's a
let's get in the
perfect
middle.
equation.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Everybody wants to have position. He's trying to create the fairest so that the ball will go straight up in the air. That's the theory. They wing it away, and Leominster will win the control directly into the hands of Cudahy. Cudahy will work to the left side and now begin her cradle to the left side of the field. She'll send it back to Santucci, top of the fan. Through Howlett and all the way over in the corner. First touch for Isles.
Littleton's defense looks quite a bit more spread out than Leominster's has been when Littleton has been on the attack.
Think about for both teams, Kate. Has anybody scored from a set position?
No.
Not really.
No.
Mostly in transition and an unsettled opportunity.
Yep.
Not many have scored from that, as you described at Century defense. Santucci with the roll dodge right, comes back across her body, low left, and scores.
All by her onesie.
Found an opening right there, but you're right, Kate. I think Littleton was playing a little higher than what we've seen Leominster play, which I gave Santucci a little more room there to run between the defenders.
8:48 to play in the second quarter. 4-1. Leominster increases its lead on a Saturday morning here on Rivalry Family Media. Opening day of the spring season at historic Doyle Field. First of 3 today here on RFM, and we're looking forward to it. So the officials have changed the body position here a little bit. Now on this attempt at the draw control, they're going to put both bodies next to each other and then set the crosses right over that center X.
Now, is this left-handed, right-handed, or is he just trying to create a little more fairer jump ball?
That's a good question.
It's odd.
And I'm not sure if the
Leominster
players
gets
can designate
position, though.
position. They do. They win another draw control.
Leominster right back on the attack.
And here comes Howlett through the middle. Shot and score!
Right off the face-off. Fast break, never slowed down. Didn't give Littleton a chance to regroup in the defensive end. Leominster took advantage of it.
And that was a first shot on Provoliotis. Provoliotis now in the cage for the Tigers, and she has surrendered one. So Manso and Provoliotis not able to right now thwart the Blue Devils in transition.
We get an assist on that goal, Todd?
I believe that was unassisted off the draw control.
I didn't know if
Howlett must have gotten it from.
Oh, she did
I
over
think
here. The previous one was unassisted off the draw control, yes.
I don't know if Cudahy played the middle there off of that.
8:36 to play here in the second quarter. It's a 5-1 Leominster lead. And that is the ideal, Bill Thomas. That one goes straight up in the air. And ultimately controlled by the Tigers on the draw control with Hunt.
Good job by the official there getting that straightened out.
Right down on the attack, shot and score! Veda Hurley had had enough. She said, I'm taking this one. Got the connection, straight down the field, goes low center of gravity to the right, finds the back of the cage.
Enough of those set plays.
Yes.
Fast break. It's working for Leominster, and I think Littleton just pulled a page out of Leominster's playbook right there. No sense setting up. Let's just attack.
Well, we'll revisit our conversation from moments ago, Bill Thomas.
Wow.
Has anybody scored off of a set piece today? I don't think so. Everybody seemingly scoring in transition and almost immediately off the draw control. It's been unsettled situation, boom, take it on the attack and just get it right to net.
We did see Littleton's first goal come off that
Correct.
set from behind the
From
goal.
behind the cage,
with that
yes.
high lob, but that's about the only successful play that we've seen off a set. Everything else has been random fast breaks, rebounds, positioning.
Leominster gets sent off.
Oh, stick.
Jewelry.
Looked like there was some jewelry out
She
there.
was wearing something. Okay.
So they will turn the ball over. Unforced error there in transition. And here come the Tigers. Hurley with the cradle, taking it to the left. Bouncing ball works its way back to George. George goes left. She will find Corbett, who is stripped, but the loose ball finds Hurley in the far left corner. Now George and Crory, and the action slows once again. 7:45 to play here in the second quarter, and the Tigers in the hole by 3.
The interesting thing about this game is that the quick score opportunities, those chances, a 3-goal differential can be made up incredibly quickly. So that's one of the beauties of this sport. You're never really out of it. High scoring, and you're never really out of it.
Goals can come in bunches.
Yes.
Unforced error there, lost out of play, and that one, because it was thrown away, regardless of the backup, will go, the official pointed downfield. Yeah, there we go. Littleton picked up the ball and gave it to Leominster, but the ball is Leominster's as the Tigers threw that one away in an unforced error. So they'll get the restart, Will Leominster, from the deep corner where it went out of play. That's O'Malley. Gets the whistle to begin play, takes it down the right sideline, and Leominster stepped it out of play on their own volition. It appears the ball will be going back to the Tigers. And Hurley got a little excited and began before the whistle there, but now she will begin action. There we go. And Hurley will bounce it back. Top of the middle of the field, she finds Crory there. Crory stops at the arc. Now bounces it to her right. Slowing the pace of action, finds Hunt. Hunt snaps it to the corner, finds O'Brien. O'Brien's gonna go from X. Hunt flashed in front of the cage, but they couldn't connect it with her.
The other interesting thing is that Hunt's able to play as a southpaw.
Roll dodge O'Brien to the front of the cage and score.
Took that in there all on her own too. No center passing, just saw an opening, cut in front on her own from that corner of the cage. Nice short, accurate shot.
The ability for the players, body-wise and spatially aware, to be able to kind of lean their body and then roll off and still maintain that center of balance, Kate, being able to really circle and find their target. Much like a ballerina or something like that that uses that centering so that you got the big spins and you don't lose your angle. Very impressive. Santucci back in there on the draw control. Battling Hunt, and Santucci flipped it up. Was able to come back down with it. Leominster with another draw control. Leominster certainly dominating in the draw control department. This is Cudahy. Cudahy with the low sidewinder. The horn goes off. There's disagreement on what's going on with the goal. And that whistle came before the goal. So they foul, they wave the goal off. Cudahy will have the free position. It's a direct opportunity to shoot. So that once again, we saw this earlier, a whistle coming a split second before the goal. Cudahy will start on this restart, ability to shoot directly on Provolodis. She goes left, it was deflected, hit the side of the cage. Loose ball in the arc. Leominster tries to come out with it. A lot of stick action there.
First scrum we've seen.
Yeah, somebody trying to sweep loose. That was Crory, and Leominster comes out with the ground ball, Kate. That's Emma Miller-Ayala. 5:10 here in the second quarter. Leominster with the 5-3 lead. Miller-Ayala comes to Howlett. Howlett at the top of the arc, and Leominster content to slow the action down as we wind under 5 minutes here in the second quarter.
Take a look at the defensive positioning on Littleton. Those sticks up, kind of like basketball, where you want your hands up when you're defending. They are trying to be as big as possible and make sure that those passing lanes are taken up with sticks.
Cudahy slipped on the attack, kept possession. She'll drop it off. Santucci rolls, top corner, score! Oh my!
Very accurate shot right there from Santucci.
Threads a very small needle and finds the top corner. Leominster's lead is 6-3.
Good job there. I think taking advantage of Littleton's aggressive defense too. They're pulled out and not able to get back on that close encounter exchange right there. Santucci taking advantage of it.
Gabby Santucci, one of the players that Coach Kevin Aubuchon, in his first season, noted as a player to watch, and she certainly has been the difference maker today for Leominster. Leominster wins the draw control here. This is Marchetti with the first touch. She'll drop this one off. Coming to the near side to a player wearing a jersey number, Kate, that we don't have, number 4. We'll get it at halftime coming up.
I wrote it down.
Appreciate it. This is Marchetti. Back of the cage. Nice flash there for Armashinga. Looks to center, has to drop it back off for Young. Marchetti had this one deflected off the cross. Was able to play it back up. 3.5 to play here in the second quarter. Armashinga at X. Works the cross, now has to take it back up top, finds Santucci.
Notice how the Leominster forward switch sides there too. The wingers switching right to left. Give a little different look.
Howlett thought about attacking down the middle, but had 2 Tigers in front of her, didn't really have the lane. Ball will swing its way around to Marchetti, and then right back it goes to Ailes.
Oh, a little
And
lazy.
Crory had enough. She tried to poke it away, but Leominster maintains possession. You're right, Bill Thomas.
Lazy pass right there. Almost a clean breakaway.
Ailes got to that arc, lost it, had to go back and pick it back up, and now has to work its way back out to the fan. As we're under the 3-minute mark here of the second quarter, Leominster with the 6-3 lead. Front of the net opening up. Howlett goes low, bounce shot.
Didn't have a great angle there.
Nah, indeed, and it's backed up by the Tigers. They had 3 in position to win it. They'll get possession, 2.5 minutes and counting here in the second quarter.
That extreme angle trying to get, oh, we have a little scrum
Turnover
right in front of the net.
goal.
Yeah, and ultimately scooped up by Provolodis as it came into her circle.
For such a small cage, that was wide open.
And getting chased around the net by Pompey. Provolodis drops it off for Crory, and Crory's going to be the connection that's going to take this one in transition
She is
downfield.
looking for Hunt the whole time. You can see the two of them, they're like connected with a string. They are looking for each other at every single opportunity.
And went long looking for Hurley and couldn't find her. Santucci picks up the loose ball, comes back up the middle of the field, finds Armashinga. Armashinga dropped it off for Howlett.
Nice passing
Indeed,
by
played
Leominster's attack.
two-person game on the way down the field.
Nice job.
Armashinga tried to drop it for Marchetti, missed the cross, scooped up there by Manso. Check it, a step as she takes it back to X.
She just picked that up with her hand.
She did. That one rolled into the circle, and the keeper picked it up and put it in her cross.
Okie dokie.
I think it was caught on the back of the net.
It was.
One of the benefits of being the keeper, you got a lot of free opportunities. You got a lot more flexibility when you're in that circle than you would if you were out. Nice deflection there. Poked away loose. This is Crory.
She's got great stick handling ability.
Indeed, she does.
It's throwing some good footwork
And
right
yeah, the
there.
footwork, that's
Good
the thing.
maneuverability.
The ability
Exactly
to
right.
change direction that quickly and be able to kind of like stick and cross. I love that.
Final minute of the first half. 6-3 Leominster's lead. And the Tigers looking for a final goal potentially before we hit halftime.
The interesting thing about this game, Crory was out of gas by the time she got to around the 20-yard line, and she was able to just stop, and nobody gave her any
No thought at all.
No thought to go and give her any type of anything. Just let her take a breath,
her
take a
rest.
second,
Right.
and then reset
Hunt
your day.
threads the needle, finds the back of the cage, goes over the top of Jordan. And she was able to step around the goal circle in order to do it. Nifty move there by Hunt.
Didn't waste any time right there. Still playing from behind the cage, though. Littleton's got that type of play down pat. One on a break from behind the cage, another goal on a nice over-the-top pass.
Bill and Todd, you want to know when you got it bad? Is when you're the boys varsity lacrosse coach for Leominster and you're watching the game on Facebook.
Hey, I'm glad we
Coach,
gave him
you
the
got a game in
opportunity.
a little while. I hope you're ready to go.
Coach Colin Davis getting ready, I'm sure, to come down here. We'll see him in a little bit. There's a JV game for the boys in between.
I feel like he wakes up ready to go.
Oh, absolutely. He has been counting down the days of the lacrosse season. We're so excited to get to work with Coach Colin Davis, Coach Kevin Abishan here of the girls program as well, who was
He's got
formerly
such-
the assistant coach in the boys program
He's
as
got
well.
such great energy, Coach Davis.
Indeed.
I love his energy. Oh, so we got to go back to 26 seconds on the clock, waiting for the whistle. Here we go. So the official clock moved back to 26 seconds on the request of the officials down on the field because we're under 2 minutes.
Indeed. Now 15 seconds left here before halftime. Leominster up by 2. Tigers looking to get back in it. It was knocked away there by Cudahy. Cudahy trying to battle Crory. In it is Johnson. 2 seconds to play. There won't be another shot. There's the horn, and that will end. Oh, they say that is a good goal. That shot was away, and it rolled in. Scored that one for the Tigers. The goalie, Jordan, just let it go by. The ball rolled loose before the horn and the whistle. Coach Abishan is in search of an explanation, but the official stayed right on the ball. He saw it kind of get rolled loose. Jordan just watched it go by and into the back of her cage.
So
The officials are signaling it 6-5.
That's not hockey rules?
I certainly thought it was.
Okay.
Huh. Shot was off.
See if we can hear the conversation.
Can't go to replay.
Official says we can't go to replay. He is correct with that. He said that's what he had, that the ball was loose before the horn, and so the Tigers able to add a last-second strike before the final horn of this first half. Strange end to the first half of action, but we promised you excitement. Leominster 6 and Littleton 5. 11 goals in the first half of action. Bill Thomas, it's been an exciting game, but a strange end result of the first half.
It is, and I think the explanation was that the shot was
Oh, we're gonna
on
get the
the way.
number. Hold on. I'm gonna go down and get it. I'm on it.
Who scored the goal? I think the shot was on the way, but the horn sounded. Then the ball crossed the goal. I guess the rule is as long as the shot's on the way. I mean,
I gotta say,
the horn sounded before the goal was scored, and the goalie reacted to the horn.
Yep.
Much like I would say a hockey player would, but not familiar with the rule.
Yeah, that part's a little strange. I got to say, in my time covering women's lacrosse, never seen that before, that a ball would just roll away. But I did have the thought in my head going, you are going to stop that,
well,
right? Like, I did have that thought going through my mind, just because you never know.
It could have been a hard lesson learned right there. We'll have to see if it affects the outcome of the game, but it's a great way for Littleton to close the half, that's for sure.
Indeed it is, 6-5, and of course, Bill Thomas, the things that we note in that first half. Littleton struggled on the draw control, couldn't get the ball at the center circle, but when they got the ball, whether it was in transition, transitioning from their defensive end to the offensive end, or creating an opportunity, they found a way to make it work.
Yeah, they did, and I think we've seen a contrast in the two games. Littleton, in the two teams, Littleton showing a lot of patience, working their set plays. Obviously, they feel comfortable working behind the goal, and that's where they were trying to work. Most of their set plays was around to the back and then get a breaker in front. Right at the end, we saw the girl take it out front on her own, but they seemed very comfortable working behind the goal. Whereas Leominster, attack. I don't think the ball spent more than a minute total in that first half behind the goal. It was all in the front, working the arc. And we saw Littleton coming out, trying to pressure them out on the top arc. But I think Leominster did a good job working it in and taking advantage of the openings that were created by that expanded defense that Littleton was trying to run.
First of 3 games here on Rivalry Family Media on a Saturday, opening Saturday of the spring season here at historic Doyle Field. Girls lacrosse on now. Boys lacrosse, Littleton and Leominster coming up at 2:45. And then later on tonight, the nightcap of our triple header on opening day of the spring here at Doyle Field. It's on the upper field to the baseball stadium we go. Leominster and Neshoba, 6:30, the first pitch. We'll have it all for you here on Rivalry Family Media. 6-5 Leominster over Littleton at the half. And yes, those will all be separate streams here on Facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Games will be available toward the end of the day, all out on YouTube on demand as well. We'll step aside at the end of the first half of action. Second half action coming up about 2 minutes from now. Leominster and Littleton, 6-5 Blue Devils over Tigers at the half of game number 1. Stay with us. This is our FM. Second half action about to get underway here on Rivalry Family Media. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins back to rejoin us to start the second half of action as well. Great to have you along with us. Of course, if you joined us right before the half, the Tigers score a last-second goal on a rolling ball that Leominster did not contact. And away we go with action. Right to the cage comes Leominster on the control. It's a bouncing shot, scooped up in front. Second opportunity is a score for Emma Miller-Ayala. And Leominster comes right back with a 2-goal lead once again, 7-5, able to match that last second goal before the half and restore that 2-goal advantage, Bill
It didn't
Thomas.
take them long to get that goal back, and I'm sure they talked about that, left a sour taste in them out there as that first half ended, but quickly getting that goal back.
12:14 to play here in the third quarter.
.26 on the goal there.
Indeed. Emma Miller-Ayala. She's
Ayala.
originally listed as wearing number 1, wearing 26 today.
We'll get it figured out.
I was going to say, we're getting them all sorted out.
Yep.
Kate was down on the sideline. She was able to find Caitlin Shivari wearing 4, not 10 down on the sideline. And away we go. Draw control this time is ultimately won by, and still battling, Leominster, able to sweep it out. Nice play there by Cudahy. Miller-Ayala working the sweep and then got chopped from behind by Hurley.
Nice ground control right there, though, picking that ball up.
Howlett, right at the arc, finds a body there, and Carroll has to pull off. This is Pompey. Pompey drops it off that time for Ailes, and Ailes picks the ball up back at X. She'll drop it off for Amashinga.
Leominster showing a little more patience here, starting the second half.
Indeed.
In this possession.
Cudahy finds Miller-Ayala. Cudahy decides to dodge, goes left, comes back across the body. It was deflected through the arc and ultimately swatted away there by Provolodis. But Leominster picks up the loose ball and maintains possession. Kate, you had some time down on the sideline between halves. What'd you hear while you were down there?
Leominster was down in their huddle for the entirety of halftime, so they were having an in-depth conversation over there. I was primarily making sure that I got the information from the officials and from the Leominster coaching staff. So I was waiting for information on that and then relaying that up to you guys and to the other sideline. So
Santucci,
I was
little
busy.
scoop, flip, sets up, Cudahy shot, got deflected, and it's backed up by Leominster. They'll maintain possession. Sorry, Kate, I know you were down there, and I have to imagine the intense conversation centered around giving up on the play as Cudahy comes to the net and taken out of the air with a great save by Provolodis. Provolodis will leave it, in this case, for Crory in transition, right in the circle. Crory will pick it up for Hunt, and here we go in transition for the Tigers. 2.5 minutes into this third quarter. Tigers still chasing 2 as they go right to left in this second half of action. You were down on the sideline, Kate. We didn't get the opportunity to ask you about that last goal. A situation there where the ball kind of gets given up. You kind of watch it roll by you. It's one of those you got to play to the whistle kind of moments.
Well, and it certainly is, and so it was described essentially like basketball in the event that the shot went off before time expired in the official's mind, and so it was what it was.
This is Johnson with the shot. Center mass on Jordan, who makes the save. And I will say, by the way, I think he is correct. Replay would hold up for him on that.
Yeah, I do.
That ball was loose.
The shot was taken before the horn, but it didn't cross the goal.
Bounce shot, score. Jenna Corbett, the senior on the attack, goes low 5-hole and finds the cage.
Interestingly, it feels as if the momentum right now favoring Littleton a little bit here.
Which is interesting because Leominster came right back and responded at the start of this second half. After giving up the tough goal, comes back and responds and finds their way back into the game with the score, maintaining the lead, and now just a 1-goal lead once again.
A little different positioning here on this face-off.
Players gaining their position. Santucci, they got to hold their side of that X. Santucci and Crory. Officials adjusting the sticks. And the ball stays low. Hurley's going to have best position. She overran it, works the scoop. Nice job using her body to box Cudahy away. Draw control for the Tigers. Doing a little better in the draw control department here in the second half. Loose, thrown back all the way to the top of the fan. It was chopped away by Santucci, and Hunt will get the free possession. At the top of the fan. Got a little fancy with it. Corbett loses the ball. It's scooped up by Leominster in transition. This is Russo. Russo finds Pompey. Forward she goes for Santucci. Too high, but Santucci alone able to scoop it up in stride, and down the left side she goes. Avoids a defender. Santucci finds Howlett, top of the arc. Falling to the ground. Loose ball there. Scooped up by a step. And Crory goes long distance. Finds Hunt, center line. And now Hunt brings it in transition all the way down to the offensive end for the Tigers. Under 8 minutes here in the third quarter. Melendez doing a good job to keep Hunt at least at distance using her stick. Rolling from a tough angle, finds the cage.
That seemed like an impossible angle.
I think that, I'm trying to see if that bounced off a player on the way to the net, but right on the goal line somehow finds the net.
Not quite 180 degrees, Kate, but I'll give you like 176 and finds the corner and in. 7-all, 7:44 to play in the third quarter. A Blue Devil lead that was as much as 3 goals in the first half has evaporated.
Do we have 16? What did he have?
It was 18.
18.
Yep, 18 Hunt. And so Crory back with Santucci for this draw. 7:44 to play here in the third quarter, and all knotted at 7. Stalemate straight up in the air. Bouncing ball here. Hurley's got position working on 2 Blue Devils. It was swept up nicely by Shivari, and Shivari will find Santucci. Leominster wins the draw control. Santucci dodges right through the arc, poked away from behind, but took a stick to the head, and she says, thank you very much. I'll take the free position on that. And Santucci will have a clear shot on Provolotis.
She is raring.
Indeed she is. Winds up, shot, score!
No mistake in there.
She wanted that.
She was amped.
8-7, Leominster reclaims the lead. 7:22 to play here in the third quarter.
And someone who, she's a very interesting player. She's quite lean, but she likes, her style of play is so aggressive, and she likes to body up on people. You could see her ramping up there on that free possession. That she was like a sniper. There was no hesitation, and she was raring to go.
I was thinking straight out of Top Gun, right?
That's right.
Switching from missiles, going to guns, to the
unreal.
side, and goes, finds the back of the cage.
She's one impressive athlete.
Indeed.
And again, she's not a bruiser out there, you know? You see some people that are bruisers. I mean, if you have,
I was going to say, there was a hip contact as Marchetti and Hurley bumped up against one another, and then the ball bounced loose.
When you take a look at Hunt and Crory for Littleton, both of them, their muscular skeletal makeup is quite a bit like they are, solid framed athletes. When you take a look at with Santucci out there, she's leaner than others, but she is just as aggressive. Her style of play is a little bit different. She's, quick on the attack, but man, does she utilize every single bit of her skill set and her body just to make things happen.
Hurley stays on the field and will fall back as Leominster goes on the attack.
Sometimes you just need a sec.
Yeah, she's got a little hitch in her giddy up, but she's going to get some time.
And she's on the defensive end right now, so she's got a minute to kind of get her composure. She's walking around. She's pacing it out there. She's clearly hurting.
Ball will bounce to the near side. This is Pompey.
She might still need to come out. The Leominster players are checking on her.
Indeed. Well, it was just a stalemate, body to body. They hipped up on each other. Both players went flying. Ultimately, Leominster was given possession of the ball, but in this case, it looks like Hurley took the worst of it.
She's checking every extremity on her body and her hip and her rib area.
8-7, Leominster's lead, 6:24 to play here in the third frame here at historic Doyle Field, first of 3, as Santucci rolls off a defender and goes low left corner and finds the back of the net.
Doing it all herself. Good job, though, pulling the defense over to the side, working it to the offside really quickly before the defense could recover there. Great field awareness by Santucci.
And we talk about it in basketball so often, the ability to be creative and to create for yourself and then also create for your teammates.
And to see the opportunity and
Yes.
take advantage of it. I think that's what we're seeing here.
Well, the other interesting thing is that eventually here she is going to be keyed off on and double or triple teamed every single time that she gets the ball. So somebody else on Leominster is going to, and they've had scoring opportunities from a number of players. It's just that right now here in the last several minutes, Santucci has kind of taken over control of the Leominster attack. And we do have that Littleton player is
Hurley.
coming off. She can't.
Veda Hurley.
Little switch up on the Littleton.
Tough kid. She tried to hang in there as much as she could.
Switching up on defense.
Yeah, she's.
But yeah, she needs a break. I fully expect her to be back in the game, though. Tough girl.
Dragging her off to the side.
Just needs a little break.
And we go back to the center circle, 6:18 to play here in the third quarter. Leominster with the 9-7 lead. Crory was able to pull that ball over to the left side. There's a race for it. Crory flips it up again on the near sideline. Out of play, and the officials say Leominster ball. Crory not necessarily in agreement.
Ooh,
yeah, and she's getting a little chippy. She was not happy that Hurley did not get possession off of that injury. She thought Hurley got the kind of the worst of that scenario, and Littleton should have got the ball. She barked on that one, and it's been a little downhill from there.
That's an interesting decision. We know, and again, I've talked about it, and I know I do make a little bit of a generalization here, but a lot of times when you have female student athletes take exception to something, we don't forget. I don't know, Todd, in our marriage, we don't forget. We get chippy.
You don't get mad, you get even.
Bill Thomas, were you saying something? That was called. She teed me up. I'm going somewhere else. There's got to be something else I have to talk about.
That's a ball in the dirt. You need to take a swing at.
No. We let that ball go by. 5:18 to play here in the third quarter.
Smart
I know
man.
nothing.
Smart man.
Man goes total Schultz on that one. Indeed.
Swing and a miss at that comment, Todd.
No, he did a good job. He didn't even swing at it.
Nope, just let it go by.
I teed that up too.
And that one got scooped up there by Provolodis. It got within her general range, and she left it for Crory.
Every now and again, I try to throw one by, and I was surprised.
Just to see if I was willing to get out on the front foot on that one. Not so much. Crory swats that one away from the arc. Pompey look for Armashinga. The ball bounces and is scooped up by Provolodis.
Nice couple saves there. Right now, the goaltending for Littleton has really cleaned itself up here. They had some tough going there in the early parts of the game, particularly in the first quarter, but they've settled down, and that's another thing that you can kind of think of, that 700-day layoff. The only people that you got, taking shots on goal if you're practicing at home are like mom, dad, and the family dog.
Indeed.
So when you get live action, it's a little different.
And Coach Ken Aubuchon will ask for the timeout. Stops the clock with 4:15 to play in the third quarter.
I got to do my timeout.
And 9:17. 9-7, excuse me. 4:15 left here in the third quarter. An opening spring Saturday here on Rivalry Family Media, and great to have you along with us. First of 3 games. Yes, indeed. Triple header.
Todd made us bring snacks, Bill Thomas.
I was going to say,
you
came
prepared
to be here for the day.
I packed a lunch.
I packed more than that. I got a whole snack bag. Snack attack time.
Indeed. In your Leominster Flamingo bag.
Right.
I might have some Chips Ahoy hiding in my...
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
It's still a good cookie.
Still a good
Not
cookie.
a sponsor yet.
But an
We'll have
opening
to
day
call
Saturday.
Howie about
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
He's
no-
got the magic.
No doubt about that.
That's the big time if you get to the cookie sponsor.
3 games in total are all right here on RFM. Girls lacrosse right now with Littleton and Leominster. Boys lacrosse, varsity, Littleton and Leominster coming up 2:45. Separate stream right here, facebook.com/media rivalry. And then coming up later on tonight, the nightcap of the triple header, it's boys baseball, Leominster and Neshoba. First baseball action on Rivalry Family Media ever. We're looking forward to that up at the upper field here at historic Doyle Field, and we'll have it here for you. Facebook.com/media rivalry. As you can see, games available on demand. YouTube.com, search Rivalry Family Media, or that tiny URL will take you there directly. tinyurl.com/media rivalry, and then updates available out there on social media at Media Rivalry on Twitter for all that. Like, follow, subscribe, and be a part of
And
it
make
all
sure you
today.
Talk on the stream here, people.
Second screen
Get
action as well.
excited.
Kate is looking for some more
Looking for people to talk
fans.
to me.
Absolutely. You feel free. Cheer on your
Speaking of
favorite
fans.
Tiger Blue Devil. Go ahead, Bill Thomas.
There's a large number of fans here today, which
Indeed
is great
there
to
is.
see. I went for a walk during halftime, and I was pleasantly surprised to see both sides of the press box here lined with fans. So it's great turnout.
Feeling a little more like high school athletics again, as we maybe can start to see a little hope on the horizon.
You know what would really make it feel like athletics is when the snack bar's open. So we can have popcorn and a Doyle hot
You
dog.
know the world is back when.
I was
So
gonna
then I
say.
know everything will be good in the
When
world.
when the music boosters are back in the old
Yep,
locations
the
there.
band can start making some money again.
Absolutely. Here comes Santucci with the hard cradle, rolls to the arc, and then pulls it back to the fan. She'll drop this one off for Miller Ayala. Miller Ayala loses Crory, cuts into the arc, shot, it was poked away defensively. It's behind the keeper, and Provolodis will find it and scoop it up.
My word.
And Coach Mike Crory
is
is
going
apoplectic
crazy.
over on the sideline.
Trying to
I
get
think
his
he wants her to
Littleton team
pass the ball.
Indeed, and then we've got a circle violation on their own as Provolodis left it in the circle. Crory was going to go pick it up, as we've seen them do on a number of possessions, and then Crory walked into the circle. Remember, nobody goes in the circle other than the goalie, period. Offense, defense, doesn't matter. You don't belong in there. It's a safe space, so to speak. Meanwhile, the goalie can come and go like a regular play. You can see them all the way up on offense.
See, I could have done that. Nobody can go near me
Yes.
in a full contest sport.
It's like a stasis field,
I
Kate.
would have been a great goalie.
Absolutely.
Stay away from me. Don't touch me.
2:45 to play here in the third.
I walk around with a personal space bubble that looks just like that every day.
And you could fight him off with a stick.
great.
It's a win-win.
And you get a helmet?
Cudahy rolls around through X, looks for a cutter. It was Armishinga up front, couldn't
Yeah.
make the connection.
I missed my calling, Todd.
Here comes Santucci, cuts down the arc, goes high, catches Howlett back at X, and the officials will blow a whistle here.
Uh-oh.
And I believe
Got a card.
we have a card. Sent off on the play is Santucci. They say maybe she got a little wild with the stick there.
Heck.
Penalty box?
Yep.
Yeah, she's going to come over the near side, and Leominster will go man down.
So we talking a minute off the field? Do you know what she has to sit?
That's a good question, Bill
I'll
Thomas.
count.
I was going to say, usually this is a sport with flags. I've never seen a card come out.
I put up a flag. Is that okay?
That'll work for me.
I'm going to keep it up until she comes out.
All
How's
right,
that?
works for me. We'll keep an eye on that. 2:10 to play here in the third.
Usually they tell us, not today, Mike.
Official
Not
score and
today."
clock operator Mike Griffin here up at
The
press row
wild,
says,
it's the Wild West.
yeah, the Wild West ensues. Nothing informed.
$10 says she could run back out there and no one would
And
notice.
no one would notice. But Leominster is person down here on the other sideline.
I don't think she knows when she's allowed to go back.
Ball bounces loose. Now the flag is out, Kate. Your flag signal is absolutely correct.
Yes.
There was a long whistle, a delay while they wait to enforce the flag. And now they will.
Okay.
The call is against Littleton.
I'm a little more confused right now, but I know Leominster's playing shorthanded.
Indeed, they're playing man
Littleton's
down,
on-
person on the
Littleton's
sideline.
power
Yes.
play.
Lady down.
It's been close to a minute. She's been over here in the so-called penalty box.
And so they give the ball to whom on the restart? It looks like Littleton got penalized with the flag. And so Leominster will have the direct. No, they turn it into an indirect as Cudahy will take it off. Cudahy will send it back to the top. Final minute here in the third quarter. Leominster +2.
Okay.
And Coach Quarry trying to implore his defense to go to the ball.
Well, especially because they're person up right now.
Correct. They're playing like they're man down.
Correct.
Pushed off the play. This is Cudahy.
It's been
45
over a
seconds
minute.
left.
It's been over a minute since she's been in the box.
They had
Coach
an extra
Quarry
man. He wants them to
imploring their
attack.
players that you are a man up on the field and cannot seem to get the players to at least push the action. Leominster is successfully killing off this penalty just by standing around. And
Yay.
Santucci is released over to the sideline.
2 minutes in the penalty box, much like hockey.
And she's going to come right back on the attack as we're back at even strength. Cudahy chopped away there by Johnson, but Cudahy picks it up on the bounce. Rolls around the goal mouth. Finds Santucci, point blank, bounce shot, score!
She was waving her
second.
stick in that center field area.
With 1 second remaining on the
Give
clock.
me that ball. She wanted. I'm surprised she didn't run over there and take it away from her. She was waving her stick like a flag, and somehow she got the ball.
And
great job.
3 quarters in the books here at historic Doyle Field. Leominster reclaims their largest advantage of the day, +3 at 10-7 through 3 quarters on this Saturday morning.
Did you notice who Santucci got the pass from there, from behind the goal? Oh, great pass right there.
Indeed it was. It was Cudahy.
Cudahy got
Yes,
it to
was.
us.
Yes.
That's what I thought. 9.
Yes,
Yep.
that's correct.
I mean, great patience, but as soon as she ran on the field, Santucci, she's waving
Going,
her
"I
stick.
got it."
She's like, give me that ball.
She
and
wanted
somehow Cudahy found her and finds the back of the net. Yeah, hey, get out there. Good job, Mike. I'm sure she heard you because she didn't waste any time getting back on the field.
Through 3 quarters, Kate, 17
Yeah.
goals on the
Good job.
board. Let's recap some of that scoring thus far.
Oh boy.
We can start with Santucci.
I was going to say, Santucci's got a whole host.
At least 5, maybe 6.
More than the natural hat trick. She's passed the golden
yeah,
sombrero.
She's got the double hat. The double hat trick at 6 goals for Santucci from Leominster. Cudahy with 1. This is super fun, by the way.
Pompey with 1.
Pompey with 1. You're looking over my shoulder now.
Well, I'm trying to help.
Howlett with 1.
And Miller Ayala
Ayala
with
with
1.
one.
Yes. I'm just trying to help. Don't mind me. I'll mind my own business. Billy and I will be over here. You let us know when you got that ready. Final 12 and a half minutes left here in the fourth quarter. And Bill Thomas, Coach Quarry, he would like to see a little more intensity from his sideline.
Well,
Yeah, and he's doing a lot of yelling, but he's not getting a lot of results. We can hear him. I don't know if his girls can hear him.
oh, they can
but,
hear him. Oh, they can hear him.
Problem is they're listening to a different station.
Yep. And I want to comment on that because you have a situation, Todd, and we haven't seen too much of it on Leominster's side, but you have a situation where clearly you have 2 people that are familiar with the men's game being tasked with now coming into a girls varsity situation. And the coaching style between a men's sport and a women's sport, or a boys sport and a girls sport, very, very different. And if you're in a situation where you've not been around teenage female athletes for all that long, I'm going to be interested to see how their coaching styles are effective over any length period of time. So I'm seeing a lot more of what I would see out of a coaching staff on the boys' side of the ball than I am on the girls' side of the ball from both coaching squads, and I'm going to be interested to see.
And it's not
How it goes.
uncommon in this game for both sides to go back and forth. A lot of male lacrosse players do become women's lacrosse coaches. Famous one, of course, Gary Gate, star at Syracuse University, been their women's lacrosse coach now for the better part of a decade and a half, and with a lot of success. Draw control there. It can work, Kate. You just have to understand the mentality of what you're working with and how to scaffold and reach.
Leominster's goalie is a false start there on the attempted clear out and
goal.
almost own goal herself.
Yes, indeed. Leominster with trouble. This has probably been the biggest, most difficult part of Leominster's day, getting the ball out of their end after a nice save.
Well, she almost did that to herself. She almost couldn't clear it herself.
Howlett out of a swarming beehive. And hey, out of the start of this fourth quarter, the Tigers have swarmed to the ball.
That's what we're missing, a little flight of the bumblebee.
Indeed.
That's what I want to hear. I would just like to hear nice positivity.
That's right. Hey, be loud, be proud, be positive. Mike Roberts, 11:34 to play here in the fourth quarter.
The illustrious Mike Roberts.
Indeed. This is Howlett. And Howlett doesn't have to be in any kind of rush. And this is kind of one of the places where the rules in the women's game do benefit. You can slow the action to a crawl and kill the clock. One of the famous ones that I always love to tell a story. I was out the time, Syracuse and Northwestern were two #1 programs. You know, it was 1-2, 1-1A. Northwestern got up on Syracuse in that game. Final 5 minutes of the game, Bill Thomas, they gave the ball to the keeper. She stood there for 5 minutes and held the ball in the circle, and there was no requirement at the time to advance the ball
now,
in women's college lacrosse.
Have they changed the rule?
They have changed the rule, thankfully.
So does the goalie only have a limited amount of time they can possess the ball in the circle?
In the women's game at the college level, there is a shot clock. They must advance. That is not here at Federation rules.
Ooh,
Meanwhile,
goal.
Cudahy from greater than 180 degrees rounds the corner and puts it in.
Impossible angle right there.
No way.
Finds
No
the
way
back
that
of the
should
net
work.
Somehow. Got a goalie change.
Yeah, this will be second goalie change on the day.
22.
Yeah, Provolodis is out. Return Kyra Manso. She started the game, the junior. Was relieved by the senior Provolodis, and now relieves Provolodis right back as Mansu reclaims the circle.
That's an interesting goal to take your goalie off on. It's not as I mean, like you said, it was over 180 degrees coming from a crazy difficult angle, but it is what it is. That's why they're the coaches.
10:35 to play here in the fourth quarter. 11-7 as Cudahy's goal finds the back of the net. Officials trying to set the draw control in place.
Santucci keeps getting into so much
Yeah, you see the
trouble.
official. Well, and they do. They will manhandle. They will move the sticks around in order to manipulate things to get it in the right way. And Santucci says, "Excuse me, I'll take that." Leominster with another draw control.
Leominster right now going to need to be very defensive-minded for the next 10.5 minutes. They're going to need to take opportunities when they're on the attack as right now, and they've been spending a great deal of time on the attack, but they're going to need to have some exceptional defense here in order to maintain this lead. But you can see Santucci, she is salivating to try to get another goal. You can see her on the prowl outside the fan.
Howlett and Cudahy playing a two-person game, working the ball across the arc, just back and forth, playing catch.
Waiting for a streaking Santucci.
Like
there she
a
goes.
lazy Saturday morning in the backyard. You're just waiting for an opportunity.
Littleton playing a version of man-to-man, and it looks like Leominster's trying to clear out to one side here to work a
Force them to
two-man
go
game.
with them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're waiting for
Interesting.
Santucci to streak in. there.
Cudahy swings left side, comes with the chop and score.
Good job right there on the clear out, just working the open space.
9:36 to play in the fourth quarter, and Mike Griffin tips the cap to Bill Thomas as he opened that one opportunity up. And
I felt like
Leominster-
I was watching a basketball game there, a two-man game, a clear out and run a high pick and roll or something.
Absolutely, bounce him loose.
Absolutely. Found some open space right there and converted it into a goal. You know, a couple girls was pointed out to me. I noticed 18, Michelle Hunt, has not seen the field here for Littleton in the second half.
No, you're right.
I think she's injured. She's down here. Not really any indication. She's been stretching on the ground. And the trainer just gave her an ice pack. I'm not sure if she has a wrist
Interesting.
injury. She's laying on the ground, though, and she's not getting a lot of attention, but she's not making any attempt. I think she's probably done for the day.
Which, of course, takes one of the two key players on the Tigers. Leominster called for the infraction to draw control of the Tigers. For Cudahy, it's her third goal of the day. Second player over the hat trick mark here for Leominster. And the offense really has run through Santucci and Cudahy today. Crory with control.
Littleton able to split Leominster's defense, but not able to get an angle on the cage there, so they go and they reset outside the fan once again, running the point through Crory, but she doesn't have Hunt out there, that dynamic duo for Littleton. So right now, their attack having to figure out a different way in order to split that Leominster defense. And Leominster's defense right now, they're just, they're letting Littleton take up as much time as they want.
Crory fakes left and didn't have the room to get by Cudahy, so she waits. And right now, Kate, with Hunt on the sideline, Crory out in the game, Hurley on the sideline as well with an injury. It takes out really the big three offensive names that the Tigers have been relying on, other than Crory, who's out there by herself.
Right, and so and that's the difficulty. She has just been sitting there waiting for her team on the attack to make something happen so that she can distribute the ball because she's been running the point. Nice save there by Leominster's goalie in Jordan.
Yeah, and O'Brien was the one on the shot. But, one of the things that Jordan has benefited from today, Kate, a lot of times the Tigers are going center mass. They're going to the middle of her body.
Yep.
That's where the stick is. That's where her body is.
Yep.
You got to pick a corner. Top, bottom, left, right, doesn't matter. But you got to create some space. You got to force her to move around, and that's when she's gotten in trouble, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, and she's doing a good job holding that stick out in front of her and protecting the open spaces with it, much like a hockey goalie uses his glove.
Whistle to return to play. Just for the moment, it was held on to by Corbett. She drops it off for Crory.
And that stoppage, again, does not stop the clock. So Leominster, once again, the beneficiary of Littleton being admonished by the officials, and time is just ticking away here, and that's all favoring Leominster. Time is not Littleton's friend.
Crory tried to work the give and go, couldn't make that work, ends up dishing the ball off to George.
Littleton looking to get penetration into that Leominster defense, but again, Crory trying to run the point from outside that fan, and no one is moving. No one is streaking.
Right.
No one's doing anything.
The two other offensive weapons are both on the sideline for Littleton. And everybody
Center
else
for George, point blank, over the back of the net.
Standing around.
Yep.
And that one backed up by Leominster. That was the only threat on that possession.
The other thing that I will say is that the Littleton coaching staff all the way down there trying to run the play, and Littleton is not, when they're on the attack, they will not do anything until their coach barks out a play for them. So they are content to stand there until he gives them direction, and then and only then are they making any moves to do anything. And so right now they're waiting for their instruction, and that becomes difficult, when you have that, when you're a coach and you want to see something happen, but there's no fluidity to the game. Nobody's moving. Everybody's standing there, and you're letting the clock. I mean, we just saw 4 minutes come off the clock, and nothing happened.
And that is probably one of the more difficult parts of this game. When you have it working for you, the clock is your best friend. When it's working against you, it evaporates seemingly very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think what we're going to see here as time winds down is Littleton's got to get more aggressive on the defense, which is going to open up the passing lanes in front of the goal. We'll have to see if Leominster can take advantage of it.
Loose ball it missed going through the middle there. It was Pompey was the target, and this is Mansu.
Nobody there to help. She's being double teamed behind the cage.
She's now totally eligible as she backed her way out of that circle.
Yep.
Loose ball, not able to clear the end or the Tigers, and Armashinga will pick up the loose ball. Leominster still on the attack.
Nice job getting it back in the offensive zone.
Up front, Mansu tried to knock it down. Howlett got to it, got loose somehow, and then was able to drop it back behind the cage.
It was more than just being bothered.
Indeed. Leominster mishandled on the end line there, and so the restart belongs to the Tigers. Under 5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Tigers need a bundle.
And now we're seeing the Tigers struggling to go from the defensive end on the attack. They're having trouble clearing the ball. Leominster's defense tightening up a little bit, which has been helpful to them.
Johnson crossfield, finally able to clear the end. Yeah, finds O'Brien. Now check it, Corbett, and Corbett's got it in transition. Corbett will roll her way toward that football 20-yard line. She's back off the fan by about 6 yards.
Cudahy doing a nice job trying to make any type of disruption that she can as Littleton is moving into the attack. How far does the coaching box go, by the way?
On the sideline? I believe it goes endlessly, honestly. Yeah,
I think
because both teams are on the same sideline. I believe they can go all the way to their own end lines.
Okay.
but it is strange, to say the least, to see coaches that far down.
I like a good coaching box.
Marchetti finds Miller Ayala and foul off the ball. Leominster will get to keep possession. Miller Ayala will have the direct free position here. Comes on net, goes to the right, bounces 5-hole and scores.
Didn't waste any time right there off of that set. Took it all on her own.
Emma Miller Ayala puts another one on the board for Leominster.
Thank goodness we got her new number.
Indeed. Making her presence felt. And Coach Mike Crory
Timeout.
gonna take the timeout.
I think he's going to bring in some of his substitutions here and get some reinforcements in the game.
Yes, indeed. Coming up between action today, of course, we've got the varsity streams for you, part of triple header action, but it is girls JV lacrosse coming up between the varsity games. 8-on-8 they're going to play out here, so that'll be interesting to see. We won't carry that for you here on RFM. Triple header was sufficient for the schedule today, or I was going to face
break?
I was going to face a mutiny.
I was about ready to call my union
on the
president.
sideline.
Ask for some clarity here.
But that's coming up 8-on-8. You know, had an opportunity to talk to Leominster High School Athletic Director Dave Palazzi, and of course, one of the things they noted, numbers are down in some cases in some sports. Athletic directors got together. They want players to play. So 8-on-8, if you can't field the full squad, they'd rather let them play 8-on-8 than not have players play at all. It sounds like a really great philosophy to me.
Absolutely. Just
and
because
it spreads
it
the field. It's great.
Right. And we saw that in field hockey,
yes,
where the offense was able to take advantage of the open spaces. And we'll have to see if that translates to the lacrosse field.
Indeed, it certainly will create that opportunity. First of three, as I said, for you here, all separate streams, facebook.com/media rivalry. Leominster coming out in transition. Poor Molly Jordan. And
unfortunately, I got it on camera.
She can save, but she can't.
She got running out of the timeout.
She
Poor
got a
thing.
good laugh about that
She
afterwards.
did. Tripped right over the 50-yard line.
She couldn't wait to get back in goal.
Oh, man. And she's laughing all the way down.
That's the play of the day.
Absolutely.
Play
I
of the
just happened
day.
to have the camera focused on the 50. We got a little bit of that.
Oh, man.
Play
Ouch.
of
Popped
the
right
day.
up, though.
She did. She did.
Nothing to see here.
Tough player.
She's still laughing.
She's still laughing. So are her teammates who are trying to
that's
recover. Hey, fun day today on the opening of the spring season here at historic Doyle Field. And where better to spend the day?
That
Triple header action.
That 50-yard line, that'll get up and
Get
bite
you
you
every time.
Turf monster.
Indeed.
But hey, nice to see Leominster light but still in control. They're doing a nice job, especially on the attack. Their defense has been stellar here in the fourth quarter. They've been lights out altogether. And sometimes being on the attack is the best form of defense if you just don't let the ball go near your goalie.
No question about that, Kate. Play keep away.
Hey, we know who this is now.
This is Shivari. Goes left shot and back of cage.
Just
Good
in
thing we know that
time.
number.
Caitlin Shivari with the score. 3:15 to play here in the fourth. 14-7. Leominster has doubled up the Tigers. Remember, halftime score was 6-5 on the most frustrating goal seen maybe in the history of women's lacrosse.
Well, and this is going to be a situation. We know that there are clean jerseys out there. We know, again, there's been a long layoff in between bouts. You probably have some of your youngest student athletes out here if you're Littleton. So the fact that a goal comes off quickly, not a surprise. Leominster's first teamers are still out there for them. So you're going to see that differential here. At this point in time, with 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining, the score differential to the coaching staff does not matter. They're giving their second teamers, as is Littleton. Littleton's giving their second teamers the opportunity to get some minutes, work on fundamentals, and go up against an opponent here and get varsity minutes. I'm surprised that Leominster's first teamers are still in with a 7-goal lead.
I think there's going to be that opportunity. Leominster's bench, though, is not particularly deep. As you look down there, I think the 8 players that would make up Leominster's bench are going to play in the next game. As the new clean numbers, like Shivari has seen some limited minutes today. She's out there in action. So there are some, but I think in this case, Leominster is just short on players. They field only 17 in the varsity jerseys.
Nice save.
Indeed. That was Mansu. Got a leg on that one. Off the roll from Marchetti.
And she is not a big human.
Indeed, she is not.
That cage looks pretty big around her, but a nice job on the legs, covering up that 5-hole. Nice job.
I'll stand corrected, Kate, as she is out of the game. Mansu's over here on the near sideline.
This
is a new player out there in goal.
25, 26?
Unfortunately, we're limited in what we have.
I think it's the JV.
Yeah, it must be, and
numbers.
we're limited in what we know. Under 2 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter, and I do feel for that. Littleton coming off of a big win just a couple of days ago. It was a 13-12 overtime win versus Neshoba, and right now they are struggling to find their way to double digits today. That speaks to the Leominster defense as Howlett takes it to the cage and scores.
Nice little pass from behind the net. Once again, Leominster taking advantage of it. And I think, Kate, you made a good point. Leominster starters kind of taking advantage of the clean uniforms that Littleton has put out there.
And now maybe more concerning than that is Coach Crory barking over at the Leominster bench kind of about the white flag and being sporting, as Leominster could choose to run out the clock.
Yep. I was having the same thought as soon as the clean jerseys came in with a seven goal differential. Call off the dogs.
And I appreciate that point. I think there's an appropriate way to voice that, and I don't think it's mano a mano down on the sideline. 96 seconds left here in the fourth quarter.
Point's not wrong.
No, the point is well taken. No question about it.
They will meet again.
They will meet again. 1, 2. That's what your athletic director is for. And find a way to express your thoughts and let them sort that out in an administrative fashion. But at the same time, we talk about this all the time in athletics. You ask players who are natural athletes to stop going full tilt. That's when accidents happen. In this case, you're just going to ask them to go full tilt and keep the ball away, which we talked about is definitely a possibility. You just stay long from the fan. Don't move forward to the arc. Play catch along the outside of the arc.
Like this.
Indeed. Take your time with it, but you also notice the defense.
Littleton is being told back off
because
they've kind of just resound to the fate, let the clock run out. Don't be aggressive on defense, and the Blue Devils won't be aggressive on offense.
Final 35 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Santucci flashes. Leominster just moving around. Shivari for Santucci. Leominster with an 8-goal lead in the final 24 seconds of this one. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry with you for the first of 3 games today here on RFM. Great to have you along with us on opening day here at historic Doyle Field. 2 more games to come. They will again be separate streams. We'll wrap this one up coming up in a few moments. We will break and we'll be back with you around 2:45 coming up on that one. Leominster's Coach Colin Davis says, "Way to go, ladies," in all caps, and he says we'll see all of us here on RFM in just a little while as boys action will take center stage coming up. Littleton and Leominster at 2:45 right here at Doyle Field. Clock wraps up on this one. Leominster a winner by 8. It's Leominster 15 and Littleton 7. Blue Devils will even their record at 1-1 here in the early spring season. The Tigers' record falls even as well. 1-1 overall. As the teams will start to head toward each other, will they meet, or what has been the agreed upon way? They walk by like 2 ships in the night.
In the fog.
I think they're gonna wave.
Are they gonna line up?
They're gonna line them up and wave.
Pull back here and see what.
Coach Abishan signals they're gonna do. So they're gonna do a stick salute, is what it looks like they're setting up here.
We'll get a look at this.
Absolutely.
On the way out.
They thank each other, little stick salute, and they will see each other again later on out in Littleton. Leominster winner today, 15-14, the final in this one. Great to have you with us here on Triple Header Saturday to open the spring season. Bill Thomas, first game here that you've seen of girls lacrosse. What'd you think?
Very entertaining. I'm looking forward to doing some more games, and I think I'm going to stick around and watch this JV game.
Oh, absolutely.
It's always an opportunity to learn, get a little better idea about what's trying to be achieved on the field. And I'll admit it, I'm a rookie when it comes to this game. And it might be, I think, the second game I've ever actually sat down and watched lacrosse consciously. But I think I've been missing out, to be perfectly honest with you.
Oh no, I appreciate you saying that.
I really do.
There's a lot to see.
Thomas's new glamour.
Yeah, I mean, the jury's out on field hockey, but I've immediately fell in love with lacrosse. I'll leave it at that.
I appreciate the point. They stay 7-on-7 though. The jury is back in on field hockey.
Yeah, I like the
the
aggressiveness
7-on-7.
there, and maybe take a couple players. I'd be interested to see how the 8-on-8 works on the JV game, especially it's not like they're making the field smaller. So I expect a wide open game there, and I think it's going to help the skill players develop without so much interference. And I think you're going to see the cream rise to the top.
Very
and
well
maybe
might.
some underskilled players have a better chance of developing with more space to operate.
More girls lacrosse action coming your way here on Rivalry Family Media. We're back with girls lacrosse next Saturday. That's May the 15th. The Marlborough Panthers are here at historic Doyle Field. There'll be Marlborough and Leominster girls lacrosse once again. An 11 a.m. Saturday start will be on at 10 till 11 next Saturday, May the 15th, right here on RFM. That's the next time we will have the girls lacrosse action for you. But again, plenty more coverage coming your way here on RFM on this opening Saturday of the spring here at Doyle Field. Coming up 2:45. We'll be on the air just before 2:45. Look for us maybe a little bit closer to that 2:35 mark. We'll be here, new stream, facebook.com/Media Rivalry. We thank all the great groups out there. Leominsterites Unite, Leominster That's My Hometown, and a host of others willing to host these games out there for the community. Great way to bring that action to you, and we're looking forward to that. Coming up, boys lacrosse, Littleton and Leominster coming up at 2:45. We'll be with you just before. And then the nightcap, closer of the triple header, 6:30, Upper Field, be there or be square. It's Leominster and Neshoba. Baseball action first ever right here on Rivalry Family Media, and we'll have it for you. Leominster coming off of a huge opening day win over Wachusett. We'll have more coming up for you on that as Leominster battles Neshoba in baseball action. 6:30, the first pitch. We'll be with you just before that to set the lineups here on facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Kate, final thoughts here. Leominster came into this one coming off a tough overtime loss. They're able to battle their way back into this one, taking an early lead. Things get a little squirrely around halftime, and then they come out in the second half, and the blitz was on.
Yeah, it was interesting to see. We've seen with Santucci in other sports as well, doing a really great job. She is a momentum changer. She was able to, in the early going of the second half, just put the team on her back and say, okay, kids, we're going this way, and follow me into the lion's den, and we'll take care of it. So having a player like that who literally can be the momentum changer, create her own momentum, that's great to see. Nice to see Leominster distribute the points among multiple players. That's nice to see. Skill position players be able to rely on each other, especially in open space, make things happen. I like that there was a little bit more freedom of movement from Leominster than we saw from Littleton. Littleton, you can see that coach literally, he was telling them exactly what to do, and they would not do anything until that order came. I liked the freedom of movement that I was seeing from Leominster, especially out of their senior leadership. That was really nice to see. I'm hoping that we see just as much of that throughout the season, and that they continue to progress and build. That's the one thing you always want to see, regardless of how talented individual athletes are, regardless of how talented a program is at the start of the season. You want to see that talent progress throughout the season and continue to build on, maybe not just success, but build on that ability. That, to me, is a true testament to, number one, how your practices are, how your coaching is, and the buy-in from your student athletes. And especially in the girls programs, we've seen throughout the fall 1, fall 2, the winter, there's been a little bit of struggle throughout Leominster Athletics with their girl sports, especially some of their premier girl sports. Nice to see the lacrosse program get a win under their belt, and let's see them continue to progress. So
You'll
nice
get
bright
sick
spot.
of hearing me say it, but lacrosse is the fastest growing youth sport
There's a
in
reason for that.
this country, and there is a reason why. It is the best kept secret here in Leominster. We're
mind
hopefully
you-
going to help you learn a little bit more about it.
Now, and for you to say that as a Division I, former NCAA Division I softball official,
Yes.
and for me to concur as a lifelong softball athlete and played in Division III NCAA softball and played for Leominster, and for us to say that that is something.
There
and
is a
that,
reason
and
why.
for
It
both
is
of us,
evident.
our love is bat ball, that bat ball sport of softball, and this is a direct competitor with that. And in our estimation, there is a direct correlation to the state of softball, not only in Leominster and in Massachusetts and in the country, versus the state of lacrosse right now in Leominster, in Massachusetts, and across the country, because it's an extremely exciting, a lot of participation. You're constantly moving. Nothing is stationary. It's a fabulous sport. I couldn't have done it unless I was the goal. I think I could have been a goalie. Personal space bubble. Nobody touch me. Nobody come near me. And obviously you have to run.
Light on
you
the
got to
running.
run with the team, but you're not running all game. I
And
mean, my word.
that point is where we will leave our conversation off. First game of the tripleheader here on RFM. Leominster a winner today over Littleton by a 15-7 score. Once again, join us coming up at about 2:35 for Leominster and Littleton boys lacrosse action right here on RFM. For now, for Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins, saying thank you so very much for joining us. We'll talk to you again in a little while right here. This has been Rivalry Family Media.